You've probably seen the books, the TED Talks, the gurus telling you to just trust your gut. It's on Amazon, Forbes, Fast Company. They say intuition is your leadership superpower. But here's the truth. That might be the most dangerous advice you'll ever hear. We love the idea of intuitive leaders, the visionary who just knows, the one who feels it in their bones and takes bold action. But here's what the science actually says. Intuition is riddled with bias, and the more confident you feel, the more likely it is you're wrong. A McKinsey analysis of over 1,000 strategic decisions found that leaders who used a structured decision-making process saw almost 7% higher ROI than those who didn't. Meanwhile, a separate experiment revealed that people given only half the relevant facts still felt just as confident in their decisions as those who had all the facts. That's not instinct, that's illusion. In this video, I'll break down why intuitive decision-making feels smart but fails under pressure, the invisible traps confident leaders fall into, and what to use instead, a proven framework that makes better decisions consistently and with confidence. Think about the last time you sat in a meeting and someone spoke with absolute certainty. Chances are you trusted them. Maybe you even defaulted to their recommendation. But research shows that confidence isn't accuracy. In fact, the more confident someone is, the less likely they are to second-guess themselves, and that makes them more prone to error. One study from researchers at Johns Hopkins and Stanford found that when people were given only half the relevant information for a complex decision, they still felt just as confident as those with all the data. Worse, when shown the rest of the facts, they rarely change their minds. This is the illusion of information adequacy. And it's why leaders who sound the most confident are often the ones we should question the most. We confuse confidence with competence. Let me say that again because it's really important. We confuse confidence with competence. In reality, they aren't related at all. And that's how bad investments get greenlit, or a toxic hire becomes your next VP. Meanwhile, McKinsey researchers used regression analysis to assess what actually drives successful business outcomes. They found that the quality of the decision-making process had a 6 times greater impact on performance than the quality of the analysis alone. In other words, it's not just about having good data, it's about how you think through it. Structured processes clarify objectives, test assumptions, and expose blind spots. Intuition feels fast, but structure builds durable success. Our brains weren't designed to make accurate decisions. They were designed to make fast ones. Think about all the decisions you make just driving your car. When to brake, change lanes, glance in the mirror, or shopping at the grocery store. Which aisle, what brand, what quantity. If you stopped to perfectly analyze every one of those decisions, you'd crash or never make it out of the store. That's why evolution gave us mental shortcuts. Quick heuristics that get us through the day without overloading our brain. I call these decision traps. They're incredibly useful most of the time, but in complex, uncertain situations like business strategy, they can be disastrous. If you want to know the science behind these shortcuts, I've broken them down in another video, and I promise you it will change the way you think about the way you think. Stick around to the end and the link will pop up on the screen. One of these traps, believing the information you see is all the information you need. Another, trusting the story your gut tells you, even when it's based on emotion, not evidence. Bottom line, trusting your gut might be fine for routine choices, but for high-stakes business decisions, it's exactly the kind of thinking that gets you in trouble. And that's why McKinsey found that leaders who use a structured decision-making process are significantly more successful than those who don't. You don't need a PhD, you need a decision-making framework, like this one. I've used it to coach teams making multi-million-dollar decisions and taught it to leaders. It helps you get clear on what actually matters, uncover better options, not just the obvious ones, avoid analysis paralysis, and spot the hidden risks before they bite you. This doesn't slow you down, it saves you from avoidable disaster. And if you want a quick breakdown of how it works, I've got a 90-second walkthrough linked below, right next to the Decision Traps video. If you came in thinking intuition was a leadership superpower, now you know, it's often a liability. Confidence feels good, but a structured decision-making process, that's what actually leads to better outcomes. Next time someone says, just trust your gut, smile and remember, smart leaders don't trust their gut, they test it.